My name is Lauren Mitchell. I'm 31 years old, working as a senior accountant in Dayton, Ohio, living in the townhouse I spent nearly a decade saving for. Life felt stable until one unexpected afternoon, my parents appeared at my doorstep with suitcases stacked, panic written across their faces, begging for a place to stay. They claimed they'd lost their home, ruined by bad luck, desperate with nowhere else to go. I let them in, but doubt immediately tugged at me. Their story didn't make sense. Why did they look so calm, almost smug, for people who had supposedly lost everything? Soon the truth spilled out. They hadn't lost their home at all. They'd sold it, handed nearly $953,000 straight to my younger brother so he could move into his dream property and assume they could quietly settle into mine. What happened afterward changed everything I thought I knew about family.
To truly understand why this cut so deep, you need to know about my childhood. I was the responsible one. From as far back as I can remember, I was told to set the table, clean up after meals, keep an eye on my younger brother while my parents went out. If he got in trouble, it was brushed off. Boys will be boys. If I brought home a 95 on a test, I was asked, why not 100? I worked hard, always taking jobs to support myself. Waitressing, tutoring, sometimes both at once. My brother, tuition paid, car provided, spending money handed freely. I thought I was learning independence, building character. But looking back, I see how deeply it wounded me, how it shaped my need to prove myself through work and sacrifice. Memories came flooding back as my parents knocked on my door that day. My 12th birthday, he got a new bike because he deserved it, while I received socks. Summer jobs to buy school supplies, while he went on spring break trips funded by my parents. I realized the pattern hadn't ended. It had simply evolved.
That townhouse wasn't just a home. It was proof that I could stand on my own. Years of frugality, skipping vacations, secondhand furniture, clipping coupons, every dollar earned with sweat and sacrifice. Turning the key for the first time, I cried. It was mine, my peace, my safety. So when my parents showed up, dragging their bags, it felt like they were barging not just into my home, but into everything I'd built. Initially, I told myself to be compassionate. They looked tired, worried. But soon, the signs that something was off became impossible to ignore. My mom began rearranging my spice rack, claiming it was for convenience. My dad planted himself in front of the TV, lounging like it was his personal recliner. They moved as if the townhouse was already theirs. By the end of the day, my stomach churned. This wasn't desperation, it was entitlement.
That night, I couldn't sleep. Lost their house? How is that possible? They owned it outright. No loans, no debts. I reached out to Daniel Cross, my old college friend and now a lawyer. Can you pull the property records for my parents' house? I asked. He didn't question me. Promise made, he'd check. The next day, my parents acted normal, or almost. Breakfast was staged perfection. Mom hummed, pancakes flipping, Dad tinkered with the cabinet door. Their smiles were rehearsed, their eyes avoided mine. By evening, my phone buzzed. Daniel's voice. Lauren, they didn't lose anything. They sold the house. Nearly $950,000 went straight into your brother's name. My blood ran cold. Betrayal struck like lightning. They'd lied again, and all for him, the golden child. As if fate wanted to add salt, my grandmother Helen visited that weekend. Sharp-eyed, blunt, honest. Lost their house? She scoffed. Don't let them fool you. They sold it last month. Every penny went to your brother. She leaned closer, whispering low. He bought a fancy house with Vanessa. That girl has him wrapped around her finger.
Trouble is coming. Every word felt like a confirmation of what I already knew but didn't want to admit. I was used, manipulated, and dismissed. My parents chose him over me, not for need, but for favor.
Memories came crashing back. The Christmas gifts I never got, while he received everything. Summer jobs and sacrifices I made, unnoticed. Endless comparisons. You're strong, Lauren. You don't need as much. And now, after all these years, the same pattern. He receives everything. I am expected to absorb the burden. I sat them down, with Daniel's documents in hand. I know. You sold the house. $953,000. All for him. Mom stammered. Dad demanded to know who told me. When I refused to answer, his face darkened. Then the slap came. Pain burned my cheek, but the heartbreak burned more. You have 30 minutes to leave, I said firmly. When they refused, I called the police. Watching officers escort them out felt surreal. Their parting words haunted me. You're no daughter of mine. Days later, I drove to my brother's new home. Glistening, perfect, smug. Vanessa greeted me, her smile sharp. Well, if it isn't the saintly sister, come to see how real success looks? I turned to my brother. Did you really take everything? Where are Mom and Dad? They wanted to help me. You'll be fine, Lauren. You always are. His words stabbed deeper than the slap ever could. I walked away, realizing he'd never see the harm he caused. Soon after, the house of cards fell. Vanessa convinced him to mortgage the property for her startup. Month later, money gone. Vanessa vanished. Bank foreclosed. My parents, tossed out, ended up in motels. Rumors spread. I was painted as heartless. But with Daniel's help, I fought back, sued for defamation, and won. Parents never showed up. Silence in their stead. Grandma Helen's words anchored me. Blood doesn't excuse betrayal. I rebuilt my life, piece by piece. Coffee tasted sweeter in my own kitchen. My townhouse became sanctuary again. I realized saying no isn't cruelty. It's survival. Boundaries aren't betrayal. They're protection. Yes, cutting off my parents left scars. Yes, I still feel the echo of that slap. But I gained freedom. Now, when I lock my door at night, the walls are mine. Not just brick, but boundaries. Sanctuary. To anyone listening, if family asks you to sacrifice everything while giving you nothing but lies, remember you have the right to say enough. Not everyone who shares your blood deserves a place in your home. So I'll leave you with this. What would you have done if you were me?